So I thought that today would be good to share with you this prayer with mudras that comes from classical yoga. So when we say prayer, sometimes people go, "Oh, well, I don't believe in God," or "I don't," So don't worry. It's just like yoga. It's like when you are doing the breathings or the asanas or whatever, and it's a deeper understanding of what's yoga. So if you go to the Bible of yoga, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, um, which has 196 aphorisms, short aphorisms or sutras. Only three are about asanas, and the three about asanas is that asana is a pose, sitting to sit comfortably without struggling so that your whole being can concentrate on contemplation and meditation, on calming the thought waves of the mind. And in the beginning of the Yoga Sutras, it starts by defining what's yoga. And it says, well, what's yoga? Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. So the mind is still active, alert, but it doesn't go to all these different thoughts that sometimes seem to have a life of their own and proliferate and overwhelm us. And this is what I feel that's happening with us now for many months. And well, maybe our whole life, but it seems that this last year we have had especially a lot of challenges. And so that affects our nervous system because whatever we cultivate consciously or unconsciously, that grows. So when we worry or when we are fearful and we are kind of stuck in that cycle, neurons that fire together bind together, and so we create more grooves to more easily go into worrying. I'm not saying that there are no real problems out there. The problems are there, but it's an invitation to work more with ourselves and our nervous system so that we can experience moments of peace and that our nervous system and our whole being can register those moments. And so little by little creating other synapses and grooves in our brain and our whole nervous system to be able to more easily go to moments of peace, even in the midst of adversity. And like I was saying just a moment ago, that's why I'm offering today an extra one because I feel very much the burden of what's going on. And I imagine many of you also feel that. And so, how can we cultivate light in scary times? And the way we do that is by connecting with something that's bigger than ourselves, that is also within ourselves and around ourselves. And so this prayer with mudra is a prayer to align ourselves with that transcends the limitation of our individual self. I mean, it's totally natural that we identify with the struggling self. And even more than that, often we identify with our problems. And it's, it's tragic that the more we want to get out of the problem and the more we identify with the problem, the more we are getting stuck into not being able to see with more clarity and inner strength what to do within these scary times. I mean, and what to do, I also I'm referring to your own self-care, to your relations to other, to everything that you have some direct influence on, something that you can change, and eventually each of us staying relatively calm and embodying safety is how we contribute to our immediate communities and our bigger communities. Like Thich Nhat Hanh, beloved meditation teacher, said, he was from Vietnam and of course went through all the horrors of the Vietnam War. and the people were trying to flee in boats, and they face storms, and they also face pirates that often attack the boats and took the people prisoner. And he was saying if everyone felt fear because of the uncertainty and the big dangers, and if one person in the boat was able to keep calm, there was more chances that they will be able to somehow cope with whatever they needed to do at the moment. But if everyone panicked, which is it's totally natural, but if nobody then taps in into working with their inner resources, then there is just panic multiplied. Okay, so that's the invitation today to connect with something. First of all, to realize that by wearing and being fearful, we don't change the situation. And being very well informed, we don't change the situation. So let's continue to care, but start then by taking care of ourselves so that we can be more available to ourselves and others. And the body responds, it just needs continuous practice. The nervous system learns by practice and repetition and by kindness. So if you immediately don't get there, don't get impatient with yourself, know that you are opening a new path for your energy to go there. And so the energy is accustomed to go to the path of wearing, that's the highway that takes immediately when there are these overwhelming situations. And you are trying to teach your attention and intention and your neurophysiology and your whole nervous system, your whole being, to take another path. Well, how does it do it? You can tell it, well, you need to calm down, and the body says how, and it says, I'm accustomed to this. Okay, so then you need, with patience, create this practice and practice again every day, several times a day, to begin giving your body these moments of peace. So you are creating this new path, and eventually, the body starts, remembers and goes to the path of calmness instead of the path of agitation and fear. And then eventually becomes stronger and stronger and becomes a preferred path. It's still feeling the worry, the concern, and all that, but with a bigger neural base that can support you in going into calmness and equanimity and healing, right? And we are here for the long run, right? We are here for the long haul, and we cannot just depend on when the external things will change. Often, many of the external things don't change, like aging, health problems. The political situation hopefully at some point will change, but we need to keep ourselves whole and keep our communities whole so that then what we need is in place at the time when we finally are able to shake off this horrible situation that we are going through right now. Okay, so enough understanding and trusting our body and our spirit, and let's go to this practice. So mudras come from classical yoga, and they are gestures of the hands and also of the body, different kinds of mudras. In this case today we're going to be working with hand mudras, and they concentrate energy. So like often, when we go like this, there's already this coming and concentrating of energy, right? And we could say that this is a mudra. And these are these other mudras that we are working with today, we're going to experience today, also concentrate energy. Like those of you that have been studying with me at the Polyvagal Institute and have been understanding the different pathways of energy, also in Qigong, know that we have meridians, rivers of energy, some of which ends at the end of our fingertips. So when we are putting our hands together, we are concentrating that vital energy, that subtle energy. So let me just one more preamble before going to the full practice, that we have a physical body, our muscles, bones, fluids. We have a subtle body, which is the body of the subtle energy of the thoughts and emotions, and is what runs through our meridians and what gets stagnant when we are fearful, for example, or sick. And that's how acupuncture treats different points along these rivers of energy to unblock. And we can also do it with acupressure, which we have done in other classes and we will do also in the future. And we do extensively in the polyvagal course, embodying safety, integrating yoga, Qigong, and polyvagal theory, which is starting now. Our first live Zoom meeting is going to be on October 9, next Thursday. And that goes on for 10 more weeks and 2 hours every week, either live Zoom or recorded. And you get all the recordings from all the classes and all the mini practice separated so that you can download them and practice at home to develop a daily practice. And some of you are in the course, and I'm very pleased to welcome you again to the course. And some others of you are thinking about it. If you are interested, please apply now so that you can follow the course along, or whenever you're ready. In any case, so let's go back to the practice. So mudras are these gestures that concentrate energy, and they also represent, they are like pre-verbal communication to ourselves. We are telling ourselves cognitively, our mind, our body, our nervous system, and we are also telling our spirit how we are being in that moment. So this is going to evoke certain states as we do it. So don't worry, just let's practice it like children exploring something, and it will the body, mind, and spirit will do what it needs to do. Okay. And it's all very gentle and it's all very healing, so anyone can practice it. So the first one, well, let me first do the whole prayer with the mudras, and then I'll go slowly so that we can do it also really well together. You can repeat the prayer with me if you like, or you can just listen to it and see the prayer. It goes like this. Dwelling in the self, and this is the higher self, right? Within us and all around us. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pulled towards the world, I separate from thee. Expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. Maya is the illusion of taking ourselves just for our problems, and the bondage of Maya. I empty myself, this is the left hand on top. I empty myself so that I can be filled by thee. This is the right hand on top. So the individual self empties itself with all its concerns, fears, burdens into the bigger dimension, the universal self that is within ourselves and around, all around us. I empty myself so that I can be filled by thee. I relinquish the world, at least temporarily, relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. You guide the way. So now it's right hand on top of the left, and we are swimming like a turtle in the ocean of the world. Okay. You guide the way, and I follow your guidance, right? So now the left is following what the higher self was whispering. So you guide the way, giving strength. So for this one, we put the left hand with an L shape like this, and the right hand, so like this. Okay. I love sign in the right, left here. Okay. So you guide the way, giving strength. If you press the hands against each other, you can feel the strength of this position and support. So, and I'll explain, just bear with me and you'll see how powerful this is. The right hand, the one that had this, is going to bring the little pinky in, and the left hand is going to bring the index in, so it forms like an envelope. And we put these three on this four, so the 3 fingers of the right on the 4 fingers of the left, and create like a little chapel there, and praying in there. So with strength and support, I want you to use your right hand to squeeze a little bit the left fingers that are there as a support. I shut out the noise of the world up to the mouth and ears. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice. You protect me. This is like the maze of Hanuman. Hanuman is a representation of the removing of obstacles, and this is a maze here. This is a maze here. Okay, you protect me and dispel my fears. This you see in Buddha statues often. This is a no fear sign. And dispel my fears. Once the fears are gone, illusion falls away and we can open to a greater understanding. So let's do it just one more time. I'm going to do it just one more time with no explanation, and then we go to the explanation. So dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pull towards the world, I separate from the expanding. I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. I empty myself so that I can be filled by thee. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. You guide the way, and I follow your guidance. You guide the way, giving strength and support. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice. You protect me and dispel my fears. Illusion falls away. So now I'm going to explain the technique itself and also a little bit of connections with the nervous system. So to be able to raise above the problem, we need to have a double work. One is to not repress or ignore the problem, because then we never are addressing it. So we need to allow it to be contemplated. And at the same time, we need to create a bigger framework where we can relax ourselves as we are contemplating it. So, but the natural thing is, as we contemplate it, we identify with this worrying self, and we separate from our capacity to find new understandings or new trust or to reclaim our energy. So how do we do to physiologically, because it's just a automatic physiological response, this one of going into fight flight or to go into overwhelm or to oscillate between the two. How do we do to work with those responses from our nervous system so that we can contemplate what's going on and at the same time work on calming? So this is the mudras and the prayer are helping your mind, your body, your physiology to concentrate on something that is going to give a break to those that repeated cycles of being preoccupied. Your head and mind and heart are occupied with the worried and cannot see anything else. Okay, so let's give it something that's very powerful and that's going to give a break, and that in the background there still can be the care and the concern that you are feeling, but now you are also at the same time exercising your vagus nerve and giving it more tone as you experience these moments of peace that are felt at the level of your lungs and your heart and your abdomen, and then it's transmitted to your vagus nerve, those moments of peace. The vagus nerve takes the inner mood of yourself. 80% is what the vagus nerve is perceiving from the viscera, from this moment of peace or moment of anxiety. It takes it up. That's 80% of your inner state. And then there is 20%, that's what the brain sends back. And the brain is like a mirror. So it's going to send more of the same. So that's what's so tragic, that we are trying to get over the problem. And when we are agitated and restless and depressed and all that, we are just sending the brain the signal, okay, well, we are in danger. This is coming, is terrible. We need to fight, flight. We need to do something. And there is sometimes nothing that can be done. And so then the next step is, okay, I'll shut you down so that you don't feel the pain when you are dying. So we don't want either one, the shutting down, but we also embrace that that's a part of the process, and at the same time bring this other possibility of retraining, resetting our nervous system. Okay, so the first one here is when all the energy of our different pathways, our different meridians connected to our different organs. Also, you could think of the subtle energy as within the physical, the one that is closest to the thoughts and emotions. So when we are concentrating this energy, we are also directly affecting our physical nervous system. Okay, so the first one is dwelling in the self. I am a seed. Is recognizing that we are, as we are born, we didn't start just in the moment of birth because the body was there, but in fact that we are life that has been passed through our parents and grandparents and many many generations, and that life at one moment took the format of a body, and that's us right now. But that is not the only thing that we are. We are the body, we are the subtle body, and we are the causal body, which is the spirit, the primary essence. Okay, so dwelling in the self, I'm dwelling at the same time in this body that's doing this with the hands, and I'm bringing my attention and intention to here, and I'm contemplating the beginning of my life, when I was born, or the beginning of every day, dwelling in the self, in this unmanifested self. I'm about to become a manifested form. So dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. That's the same every day. We come out from sleep, more or less a blank slate, of course, still with some scribbling there, but it's a new day. So we concentrate with this bigger dimension. For some people, is called spirit or God or consciousness or life presence. Okay. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pulled towards the world, and that happens every day, and it happens when we are born. That seed pulled towards the world separates from that state of union because it's getting lots of input from the five senses. So, dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pulled towards the world, I separate from thee. Expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. And that's natural. That's why when we came here to experience life, but not to get stuck in it. So I experience the various aspects of life. What now? I withdraw my mind so I can, through touch, through breath, through intention, I can withdraw my mind from that identification just with the problem. Okay. So let's have our pinkies. Everything was, dwelling in the self. I'm a seed, pulled towards the world. I separate from thee, expanding. I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world. I invite you to do it with me from the flow of the world because you will feel it as you experience it. Taking notes is important too, but it's more important, much more important to experience it. So, dwelling in the self, I'm a seed, pulled towards the world, I separate from thee, expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee. To spirit, to that bigger dimension of yourself, so that you can flow through me, so that it can help you, it can give you insights, it can give you peace, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death. So revealing the reality of birth and death is that when we were born, that free spirit took a form, and at death, the free spirit is going to leave this container and go free. So, revealing the reality of birth and death. So, not to forget our immortal nature when we are in the midst of all this pain and suffering and fear. Reveal the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. And this is a perfect representation of how stuck we get with our thoughts and emotions, right? I invite you to do it. Just experience this bondage. And the more you try to pull with your shoulder, your elbows, the more stuck you get. So you have experienced the bondage of Maya. And that's taking ourselves for our problems, which we do all the time. And then sometimes we remember and go, oh, okay. So let's go from the beginning. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pulled towards the world, I separate from thee, expanding. I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee so that you can flow through me like a triangle there with a little bit of a space, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. So how do I come out of this bondage? I empty myself. So the left arm, the left side represents the individual self. So I empty myself. The right one represents the universal self. I put all my concerns and worries and fear and terror and everything. I empty myself on this universal spirit that can transform everything and can give me insight. So I empty myself so that I'm not preoccupied, because if I'm full with everything else, it's more difficult to listen to that subtle voice of the universal self within me and around me. I empty myself so that I can be filled by thee. Now the right hand represented the universal self is on top. It's like an hourglass, okay? So that I can be filled by thee. And I invite you to take a moment to go through I empty myself and relinquish what has been burdening you and is perhaps burdening today too. I empty myself in the trust of this universal self so that I can be filled by thee and then receive this measure of inner peace, of trust, of hope, new beginnings, so that I can be filled by thee. I relinquish the world. So these two are together here and everything is looking down. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. I like to bow my head as I take refuge in the universal self within me and around me, in all of you. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. And as I bring my attention and intention to take refuge in thee, in this universal self, I start hearing the voice a little bit. You guide the way, right hand on top. You guide the way, and then left hand on top. Now I'm following the guidance. So it's a subtle voice, and for that it's so important that we do practice this every day, like I was saying with the nervous system, that we create these spaces of calmness and guidance so that we open up ourselves to insights. And it's amazing because it doesn't come in a written form. You just start knowing where to go, what to do. It's just suddenly you start putting together how is it possible to move forward within what's going on. Okay, so let's go from the beginning. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Please do it with me. Yeah. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Each of us is a seed. Pulled towards the world, I separate from thee. Expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. I empty myself, left hand on top, so that I can be filled by thee, receiving the support. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee, at least temporarily, several times a day, and take refuge in thee. You guide the way. With strength, and support. So with strength is the left hand forms an L, the right hand is I love you. We put the left hand looking up, and then the pinky of the right lands on the index of the left. The index of the right goes to the thumb of the left, and the thumb of the right presses down there, and that's with strength. And then for support, we separate the hands. We are going to create an envelope with the left hand, having the four fingers there like an envelope. where one can put something there. And then in this one, we are just bringing the pinky in. And we have 3 fingers here that we are going to put in the other 4. And then the thumb and the index go together, the thumb of the left with the index of the right. And underneath the other thumb, like the person praying in that chapel. Spirit. Okay, with strength and support. And I want you to use your right hand to give a little squeeze to your left hand, right? The support is always there. Sometimes it's good to just give a little squeeze to feel it. Okay, with strength and support. I shut out the noise of the world. Is so that we can have some, be able to listen to the inner voice. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice. You protect me. So when I hear your voice, when I hear these insights, these moments of peace, I feel protected. You protect me. There is an inner alignment between the inner self and the universal self, even in spite of all kinds of problems. And we still work to try to solve our own, financial problems, physical problems, community problems, everything. So you protect me. In spite of all that, I feel some form of inner strength. Maybe not all the time, but we keep working on creating that neural base of inner strength. You protect me and dispel my fear, or layers and layers of that fear. Okay? Protect me and dispel my fear. This is a no fear sign. So give me that no fear sign. Let's give each other no fear sign here, all over the world. No fear sign. You protect me and dispel my fear. Illusion falls away. This total identification with the problems falls away. And we are more available to ourselves and to others. And we are the one in the boat that's calm and bringing calmness to others. All right. So any questions about the practice itself? Let me go for a moment here. I also wanted to teach you some breathing and movement, but there is not enough time. But maybe some breathing or reviewing this once more. So any questions about the practice itself or any comments? Heather, yes, please.
So can you do one more time the love sign
Oh,
and
yeah.
then transfer that into that's the one that's really
Yeah, that's the one that
a little tricky.
every time
Yeah.
that's the one that always needs a little review. Thank you, Heather. So we had said you guide the way, giving strength.
Giving the strength.
Giving strength. The right hand is going to be like this. So what's your right hand? It's very confusing. Show me your right hand here. Put your right hand forward. Yes, yes. So that's the interesting thing that, you will be seeing the other side. And so that can be confusing. But okay, once we know which is the right hand, so we have this I love sign here. Okay. And then in the left, we are going to have this L sign. But now we are going to put it looking up. And so then the pinky of the right hand can land on the index of the left, and the index of the right can land on the thumb of the left. And then you have this other floating thumb, and you are going to bring it to touch, yeah, right there. There, that's it, right there. Okay. And so it's a strong position. It's like a three-legged table, but it's strong. So giving strength and support. So, but for support, you separate the hands. And with the left hand, you are going to bring the index in. So that creates a little envelope there, right? Okay, so that's your left hand. Now your right hand has a still this sign, right? So we are going to bring the little pinky in. And now you have 3 fingers here. And we put these 3 in these 4. And then the rest kind of naturally goes together, and the one praying is here. Like the people in the steeple, that's what I hear people tell me. I didn't grow up with that, but yeah. So it's really a dialogue between the individual self, the one that feels so overwhelmed with so many things, and the universal self, and then it's represented in all these different mudras. So can we go from the beginning and see how it is when it gets to this more complicated part? Yes. You want to see it one more time before we go to the from the beginning? Heather, would you like to see it one more time?
I think I'm good. I think yeah, I think it came in. Yeah. I
Okay.
also want to just, sorry to interrupt, but I will have to go soon and I am signed up for your class and I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah, I
thank
can't wait.
and I can't wait to share these things with you.
Thank
Thank
you.
About the scholarships, um, we don't have an independent fund, but I'm taking, as from me and from PBI, we are trying to help people that have, very little income. If you can afford it, please afford it, because that helps other people. But if you can't afford it, don't break your life to try to get in, So I immensely appreciate Heather. And all of you, Mariek, and several of you also are coming, and I hope Betty, I think, is coming, and yeah, and so other ones who are contemplating it, please feel free to connect with me if you need it, and if not, just join. And I promise you that it is a transformative course. I think Sue is coming, I don't know, but she has always been there for I don't know how many times. There is a person, we are in our 5th cohort. There is a world-renowned yoga teacher who's coming for the 5th time to take it, because she says every time is transformational. It is a never-ending work that we need to do with our nervous system to be able to strengthen it and give it flexibility. And the more that these things come to us, the more that we need to then learn that other dimension of self-care. Maybe you know about exercise, and you know about good diet, and you know about non-confrontational talking, and all kinds of different things. But then if you cannot have a handle of your nervous system, the nervous system is the one that shapes the quality of your days too, and that then multiplies the other good things that you're doing. But if you have very good diet and you're upset when you're eating, or distracted or preoccupied, the assimilation is not going to be so great. You're going to have maybe digestive problems, etc. So in any case, all right. So let's go from the beginning. Yes, everyone together? Okay. And thank you so much for being here and playing together. So no more notes right now. We are just playing. Oh, Linda, you are here from Alaska. Oh my goodness. Hello, or wherever you are, in Italy or somewhere. Okay. So let's do this. Dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pull towards the world. I separate from thee. Expanding, I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. I empty myself, left hand on top, so that I can be filled by thee, right hand on top. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. You guide the way. And I follow your guidance. You guide the way with strength, strength and support. Yes, 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 and support. I should so feel that support. So in any of these moments, as you do the practice and as you repeat the words, allow the invocation to sink into you with strength and support. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice. You protect me and dispel my fears. Illusion falls away. And for a moment, just sense that experience of aligning your inner self and your universal self, your higher self, through this prayer that is at the same time a call for help and at the same time is already being answered. It's just your whole being receiving what you are bringing your attention and intention to sincerely evoke within you. I hope it will stay with you and that you perhaps can practice it every morning as you wake up. The beginning of the day, you are a seed about to expand and go into the world, and then coming back to this sense of inner alignment and peace. And also at night, as the day finish, and there are many things that are being processed also before we go to sleep, and during our sleep, we again engage in this prayer, and it's a way of bringing peace. And sometimes things from the day you can still kind of notice, but you are bringing this container of peace to hold all that. So it's really transformational. I can't explain to you how amazing it is. So I hope you will practice it. And again, it comes from the tradition of Baba Haridas, amazing teacher, founder of Mama Donna, and I'm very blessed to be sharing it with you right now. Thank you, thank you. I'm staying just for a few moments, but yeah, if you have any questions or comments.
May I ask one more thing? Will we be going that over in the class?
In the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the beauty, that when I have this possibility of bringing ancient wisdom and neuroscience together,
Mhm.
it some people that do yoga say, "Well, why do we need polyvagal theory? We already have the yoga practices." But when we also understand the direct connection with our neurophysiology and our neuroanatomy, it locates it in the body and it makes it very concrete.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it brings the realization that enlightenment is not something supernatural.
Yeah.
It is not also mechanical. So how do we bring that
Sitting on this book. Yeah.
atlas of the human body? Yeah, we want to know. I mean, we have 37 trillion cells, more than stars in our galaxy, and they all work together, to bring us into healing. But when we are afraid and we give them this tension, continuous tension, then they get confused, they cannot do their work. So that's the beauty of being able to bring this ancient wisdom that transcends science by eons, because science became more and more specialized. And so, we think about the heart or the lungs, or can be specialist on this and that, but this other ancient wisdom talks to us about this continuum of body, mind, and spirit. When we can bring that with the also understanding of the concrete in our body, it's really very powerful. I'm so happy that you're going to be with us.
I'm so grateful. I gotta go do my service work.
I know,
So
I know. Gracias. Thank you for.
thank you. I'll see you soon.
See you. Bye bye.
Namaste. Thank you.
Take care. Yeah, Leila.
Hi, can I just want to say that was really beautiful. I've not managed to actually come before now, and I really enjoyed the session today. Thank you so much. And I wondered if you could tell us again where whose practice this is, or so that I can read about it a little bit.
There is nothing written about it. It has been taught, from teacher to student. And the one that taught it is Baba Haridas, who is the founder of Mama Donna. And they do have a practice group on Saturday mornings at 7:30. And if you go Mama Donna online offerings, they will be doing this and other practices. I add to it things that they don't go into because they don't connect with the nervous system and with the meaning of the you are an individual self, or this is your universal self, or they do the practice itself. And it's beautiful. It's a very beautiful community, and you are welcome. It's for free. Just look Mama Donna online offerings, but there is nothing written, and definitely nothing written of connecting this with the vagus nerve or any of the work that I do. But thank
Oh
you.
wow! Well, that's amazing. I feel like I've done this practice before, but it may have been 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh, maybe with
In
somebody from Mama Donna. Yeah, it must have.
I used to go to a women's circle, so I think it might have been one of the women who might have done it and brought it to share with us. But
Yeah,
it's just so gorgeous. Thank you.
yeah. Are you in England or Canada or
England.
in England? Yeah, yeah. So is Marianne. I think, I don't know if Marianne is still here. Okay. Yeah, well, wonderful. Yeah, here it is, Marianne saying hi. She's also in England. All right, all right. Well, thank you for being here. And again, if you go to ameliabarili.com, you can find all the information about this embodying safety, integrating yoga, Qigong, and polyvagal theory. And maybe we can hear from some of the people that have taken the course. You can tell them.
Absolutely extraordinary, and they and then signed up again. I'll be taking a break because of travel this time, but I'll be back. It's interesting because I don't repeat courses, but this is different. This is living it, and I don't know what I would do with that without the practices that I learned, and I've been in the field of working with different mind body strategies for probably at least a quarter of a century. So I can't say enough about how special this is. And as a scientist, I really knows her science, and she brings it in a way that everyone we can all feel it, understand it, and apply it. That's unusual, and I've taken a lot of polyvagal courses, so I hope that makes sense to everybody.
Thank you so much, Linda. Linda works with Arctic tribes in Alaska and does amazing work also all over the world, really. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for. Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to support that. This is my fourth time that I will be taking the course, and it's been wonderful. It's all I can say is I hear something differently in every course, even though there is repetition doesn't even describe it. I love the repetition because you bring something new in every presentation. And for me, what has been most helpful is supporting my being able to integrate this into my life. It's with me in many ways, when I'm driving, when I'm swimming, when I'm stressed. My body begins to do the exercises before I realize it.
That's the beauty, that's what I mean by a new neural base. That instead of just giving the body this wearing, which is totally natural. I mean, I go into those states, and that's why it comes a little bit different every time, because every time I go into the new state, let's say, because I hear the president saying that's going to send military, to American cities, and I go, oh my God, how can it, and I go into, oh, what's going to happen, and I see what's happening, and it breaks my heart. And then I have to use the techniques to bring myself into even more, calmness, so that I can share something with you. At the same time that I'm going through lots of financial problems, and my son is going through financial problems, and, all things that we are all, one way or another experimenting, but, for some it's more acute than for others. And again, it's like if you see every problem like an opportunity to practice, you will get to be a very good practicer, right? Because there are tons of problems. So, and then you would also be empowering yourself, because instead of going to, which I know so well, getting angry, getting depressed, getting, just like, oh my God, I I almost feel I wouldn't want to be here. No, that's not a possibility. You have to be the person calm in the boat if you can, and if you have received all these teachings, use them. It wasn't just for you. They were being passed to you through generations, because at some point they might be needed. And so the invitation is also for all of you, in whatever measure, in whatever small your community might be, or whatever. Just first take care of yourself, put the mask, like in the plane, they say first you put the mask and then you help the person by your side. Um, so yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, you just reminded me of another important point that you make. First of all, the embodiment, which I've mentioned before other times, it's been so important to understand. But the other point you're reminding me of is for us to do the work so that we radiate that energy. And I want to thank you for what you radiate.
Thank you so much. And it's possible also because you are here. So thank you so much. And because you are at the course also. So thank you. Thank you. We are like solar panel cells that illuminate each other. So let's keep bringing that light in, and cultivating, and trust your body. Your body wants to help you. And it has, amazing resources. It's just you need to learn how to tap on them and assist it during these really difficult times. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you again. Thank you.